Hey guys, what's up? Jed here. Welcome to another video. In today's lesson, we're going to be learning how to solve quadratics by completing the square. Now, in order for this lesson to make sense to you, you need to know how to complete the square. So if you don't, I've left a link in the description of this video. Go and check it out. Also, at any stage of this lesson, if you feel like you're learning or understanding and you'd like to support the channel, leaving a like and subscribing will go a very long way. So thank you. Okay, let's begin. So here we have a question. Write the following in the form x plus a squared plus b, where a and b are integers. Now, if you don't know, this is how you'd write a quadratic after you've completed the square. So it's going to be x plus a squared plus b. Okay, so for the first step, I'm just going to put a single bracket with a square. And instead of an x squared, I'm just going to write an x. And next to it, I'm going to write half of this number here in front of the x. So it's minus 4, so I'm going to put down minus 2. So that's the first part. I'm then going to take away this number here squared. You're always going to take it away. Whether this is a plus or minus, you're always going to take this number away squared. So 2 squared is 4. I'm then going to bring down this minus 10 here. And for the last part, I'm just going to simplify this minus 4 minus 10. So we're going to have x minus 2 squared. Minus 4 and minus 10 gives us minus 14. And there you have it. You've written this quadratic expression in the form of x plus a squared plus b. Now, if you're thinking, well, hang on a second, this is a minus 2 and a minus 14, whereas in the question they're asking for pluses. This is perfectly normal. You can have negative numbers in place for a and b. They've told us that a and b are integers, which means that they can be positive or negative as long as they're whole numbers. Okay, let's move on to part b. So here we're being asked, hence or otherwise, find x when x plus a squared plus b is equal to 0. Now, if you remember what our quadratic expression was after we completed the square, it was x minus 2 squared minus 14. So let's go ahead and take this expression and equal it to 0 as they have suggested in this question here. Minus 14 equals 0. So in order to solve this, you're going to want to isolate the x. And the first step is going to be to get rid of this minus 14. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 14 to both sides of the equation. Just like this. And this is how I show my working out. Okay, so adding 14 on the left-hand side gets rid of this 14, leaving us with x minus 2 squared. And on the right-hand side of the equation, 0 plus 14 gives us 14. The next step is to get rid of this square as it is acting on everything within this bracket. So in order to get rid of a square, you're going to do the opposite operation, which is a square root on both sides of the equation. On the left-hand side, it's going to leave us with x minus 2. And on the right-hand side, it's going to leave us with plus or minus root 14. Now let me explain this plus or minus. Whenever you square root a variable or an expression being squared, it gets rid of the square. However, on the other side, it introduces a square root with a plus or a minus. And this is by convention and by definition that you do this. It's just something you need to know how to do. And of course, we have the square root of 14. Now, this can't be simplified any further. But if it could, you'd be expected to simplify it further. And you'd need to know how to do surds in order to accomplish that. But for now, this is in its simplified form, so let's proceed. I'm very close to isolating my x. I just have to add 2 to both sides now. Plus 2, plus 2. And this leaves us with x is equal to 2 plus or minus the square root of 14. I always like to put my integers to the left and my square root to the right, just like this. Okay, at this stage, the plus or minus comes into play. You separate this equation out into 2 equations. One with the plus, x equals 2 plus root 14, and x equals 2 minus root 14. And there you have it, guys. We have solved the quadratic equation by completing the square. Now, in the next video, we're going to be exploring how to solve quadratic equations by completing the square for more difficult quadratics, ideally where the coefficient of x squared is greater than 1. So something like this. So definitely check that out if you want to be able to attempt more difficult questions on this topic. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Hit that like button if you've learned anything from this lesson, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.